She's a really good listener, though. I nod. It's her big ears. Jeez. I snicker. TJ shaking his head and closing the resume. He moves to open the next document on the list titled F space something something something. So does this, you may not know this. So in a lot of furry stuff, you replace racism with speciesism. So like, um, break up with her and you lose your brain stem. Yeah, that's right. She'll be like who was it? She'll be like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, just rip your skull off your body. Spine's just there. But in so in a lot of furry media, racism is replaced with speciesism. And basically the idea there is because people are all different races or different species, they have different specializations. Just depending. Most of the time, this is a thing. So like Chase is an otter, so he can hold his breath for like 15-20 minutes, no problem. And he likes being underwater. And because he has otter fur, he's able to essentially go underwater and then come back up and be relatively dry very quickly because of the oil in his fur. So he likes being underwater. He likes being in the water. Then you have wolves who are, like big and aggressive and good at, yeah, like Zootopia, who are good at like doing physical things. Like Leo is the next football player, high school football player. Jenna is a fennec. Is she a fennec fox or just a fox?
She's a fennec.
Yeah, she's a fennec fox. And this predates Zootopia, by the way. This whole shtick. It's more like Zootopia, but it's just a shtick. They're all essentially human sized, and so they like Zootopia takes the idea and then exaggerates it. So, if you were to have a mole furry in, I think they have mole furries in Zootopia. So if you were to take a mole, they would be in Zootopia. They would be like 6 inches tall or something, or 3 inches tall. In Echo or BNA, they'd be human sized. They'd just be a mole person. But typically, different species tend to be taller or shorter than other ones. So, like Leo's a wolf. He's a red wolf, right?
Yeah,
And so he's
yeah
taller
he,
than
he's a red
usual.
wolf.
Yeah. Jenna's a fennec fox. Fennec foxes, if you don't know, they're a fox from North Africa. They are very small. They also have enormous ears for their body size. Like I think their ears are like 3 times the height of their skulls or something like that. So, that's about what it is. You'll have certain stereotypes that are there. But the main thing is that in these settings, things that are speciest, you're not actually supposed to bring them up. Because unlike racism, where there's not really something to lean on, like if we look at human quote unquote races, the only major difference between them is some of them are more adapted to living in equatorial regions because their skin is darker, so they can stay out in the sun longer. And some people are more adapted to living in higher latitudes. I think that's the term. Um, yeah, latitudes. So they're closer to the poles because they get less sunlight. This is why if you take someone with really dark skin and you put them in like Iceland, they have to take vitamin D supplements. Yeah, yeah. So like when British people went to Africa, 100%, and they would get horrifically sunburned because you get way more UV radiation. And if you were to take someone from Africa who has darker skin and you take them to Britain, they need to be consuming stuff with vitamin D in it, or they'll start developing all kinds of hormonal issues. Yeah, you got the idea. So that's like that's what it is with humans. That's the only real difference. But if you look at stuff like Echo and furry stuff, where speciesism comes in, there's actual differences between them. Yeah. So otters like being in water, they can swim, they hold their breath forever. Fennec foxes are very quick. They tend to be a little smarter, I guess. Maybe it's just Jenna. They tend to be able to hear really well. Maybe they're really heat tolerant. Wolves are aggressive, that kind of thing. Also, this game is free if you want to check it out. It's yeah,